All right, what's going on, guys? I want to share with you how to get out of spam if you're running Klaviyo. So let's dive in. My name is Zach Shee from the founder of ZHS which is an email and SMS agency that's currently helping our clients do a combined $2 million from these channels alone. That's $2 million per month. So just as a heads up, I do this all the time. I help clients get out of spam and stay out of spam. So this is our exact protocol of how we, troubleshoot these issues. So issue number one, most common thing is that there are back-end technical issues with your email domain. So I'll talk about how to fix these. So in Klaviyo here, you can see you want to make sure you have these 3 green tick marks. That's the number one thing, is setting up the branded sending domain and DMARC. We'll get into each of these in a second here. So the branded sending domain, basically you need to follow these steps in Klaviyo. Just literally, if you could follow directions, you'll be able to set this up. It's not that hard. You just need to add records. So literally, there's pieces of text that you need to copy and paste into wherever you bought your domain. So if it's GoDaddy, Namecheap, or something similar, you take those pieces of text that Klaviyo gives you and put them into your DNS records. So for example, if you're using an email, if you're sending from info@example.com, you're going to set up what's called a branded sending domain. So this is going to be send.example.com. You don't need to know the technical specifics. You just need to know how to set it up and make sure that it's set up properly. You could get into a ton of details on this. It really doesn't matter too much. This article here is going to be linked. And you can see it's very easy to set up SPF and DKIM and all these other things. Here's a great article on how to do that. This document will be linked in the description. So SPF and DKIM, basically you don't have to worry about exactly what these terms mean. You just need to know that setting up the branded sending domain is going to automatically take care of setting up these two. So if you see these terms, just know that if you set up and go through Klaviyo's instructions, you'll be good. DMARC is this third step here, but basically you need to set this up as that third step. So wherever you bought your domain, GoDaddy, Namecheap, wherever, you'll need to add the following record. So you add this piece of information into the DNS records and just follow the steps in Klaviyo. As I said, once you get the 3 check marks, you're good to go. All right, so now that you've taken care of the technical backend details, you have those 3 green check marks. The other issue, which is a lot more difficult to solve, is the fact that email inbox providers like Microsoft, Google, they think that you're a spammer. So there's a couple reasons that this could be happening, but basically you have some sort of poor sender reputation. So your email content could have too many spam words or phrases. Your open or click rates could be too low. You might be sending too many emails or sending too often. Your bounce rates, spam complaint rates, or unsubscribe rates all could be too high. So we're going to go through each of these and tell you exactly how you can mitigate these. So we're going to give you all the fixes and some step-by-step guides on how to check if these are fixed. And then we have at the end actually a tool that you can use to literally see if your emails go to the inbox or if they go to spam. So here are the fixes. If your email content looks spammy, basically you need to not use so many spam words or phrases like the ones that we have below here. So don't use all caps, don't use a ton of symbols. Don't have just this once for a limited time only, like super salesy language like that in all caps. 100% free, that act now. These types of things are going to get you more often, going to get you into the spam folder more often than not. So you want to use tools like Litmus or Mail Tester there's a bunch of these tools that can really scan your copy for spam triggers. So especially in your subject lines and preview texts, as well as anywhere in the body copy, Google and Yahoo and Outlook, they can all read that. So you want to make sure you're not including any spammy content like this. Open and click rates being too low. So what you can do here is you can improve your subject lines and you can improve your email content. So majority of what you can do here is with your email content. So you want to make sure it's more engaging, it resonates more. You can include better incentives, so better discounts so people click more often. You definitely don't want to have broken links. You want to make sure your emails are mobile optimized. So what that means is bigger buttons and bigger text so you can easily read it on your phone. I highly recommend literally pulling out your iPhone and actually testing this. And you want to make sure that you can easily read it and you have a single column layout. So don't have 2 columns or 3 columns. It's going to be really hard to read on mobile. Just have one single column throughout your email. Now, with opening click rates being low, the biggest issue that you're probably facing, like these are more smaller things, the biggest things that you're probably sending to people who are unengaged. So instead, what you need to do is you need to start sending to more engaged segments. So right now, if you're sending to the 90-day engaged people, so people who have clicked or opened in the last 90 days, you need to reduce that. So you need to start sending to 30-day or 60-day engaged. So you could start by 30-day engaged, and then every 2 weeks, you want to take a look and reevaluate, make sure your metrics are healthy, which we'll get to healthy metrics in a second. But you want to take about 2 weeks and decrease the number of people that you're sending to, but make sure it's only the most engaged people. And then once the 30-day engaged crowd is getting great results, at that point, you can gradually ramp up. So about 2 weeks later, you increase that to 60-day engaged. All right, sending too many emails too often. If you're sending this especially to unengaged people, this is going to hurt you, but sending more emails to very highly engaged people is going to give Google and Yahoo positive feedback. So on average, our clients send about 3 to 4 emails per week. And again, we're not sending to the entire list. We're only sending to 90, 120, 180 day engaged, somewhere within there. So that's about average. It's about 3 per week. 0 to 1 per week is on the lower end, and 5+ per week is on the higher end, which is perfectly fine. I would opt for more emails rather than less, but make sure you're getting great open rates and click rates so that you're not going to spam. What you can do here is leverage engagement tiers. So that means that more engaged people get more emails, less engaged people get less emails. So you can basically split your groups up into 3. So you have the most engaged crowd, which is people that are going to get the more emails. They might get 4 emails per week, 5 emails per week. You have some medium engaged people who might only get 2 emails per week. And then you can have like your 365-day engaged list who might receive, only your biggest promotions, only your Black Friday, only your Christmas promotion, only your big springtime sale. Those less engaged people, you definitely want to reduce the volume for them. Keeping a consistent campaign schedule. This trains your audience to look for your emails on a certain day. So if you're doing 2 emails per week, just stick to Tuesdays and Thursdays at around about the same time. If you're doing 3 emails per week, you could do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that. 4 emails per week, you kind of get the point there. Find the Goldilocks zone for sending volume. So you generally want to keep open rates between 30 to 40, maybe 45%. If you're sending too little emails per month, that means that you're probably getting great open rates, but you're not getting enough sales. If you're sending too many emails per month, your list gets annoyed, your open rates go down. So generally, that's how we choose like 120 versus 180 day engaged, is where do we get about 30 to 40% open rates. So that's roughly the Goldilocks zone there. And so you can kind of play with these. You can send more emails and assume that you're going to get lower open rates, or you can send fewer emails and assume that your open rates are probably going to go up. All right, so bounce rates being too high. Basically, this means that people are giving you bad emails. So a couple things you can do to fix this. Number 1, add a CAPTCHA on your sign up page. So if you have a footer form on your site, add that little CAPTCHA thing, that little thing that asks, are you a robot, and has you do all those little tests. So you could add one of those to make sure people are legit. Next is you want to clean your email list. So a couple ways you can do this. If you're bringing a new list from somewhere else into Klaviyo, you definitely want to use something like Million Verifier to go there and remove any inactive or invalid emails instead of sending an email to that address and having it bounce. What you can also do is, if you're having bounce rate issues, is automatically verify the emails before putting them into Klaviyo. So you would set up Zapier where Klaviyo, once they get a new sign up, they're going to send it. It's going to go from Zapier. It's going to go from Klaviyo. Zapier is going to connect between Klaviyo to Zapier to like Million Verifier, back to Zapier, and then that Zapier will put it back into Klaviyo, only into your Klaviyo list, only if it's a valid email. So you can definitely use a tool like this, Million Verifier. It takes a lot of technical kind of work to set this up, so you probably want to reach out to someone like us who has done this a million times and can do it very easily for you. Now, one other tip here, don't give the welcome discount away on the pop-up or the website. We recommend this for all of our clients. That way people have to give you a legitimate email address to receive the discount code. They can't just put test123@gmail.com and still get the discount. They have to actually check their inbox. Another tip here, definitely do not buy email lists. Just don't do it. You're going to get bad email addresses. People are not going to know why they're getting emails. You're going to get all these sort of issues and things like that. Kind of a side note here, I didn't put it on the list, but I wouldn't recommend doing any sort of giveaways because you're going to get a lot of people who are not interested in your products. They're going to be more interested in getting stuff for free, which leads to a lot worse quality. People just aren't going to be interested, and you're going to get a lot worse rates. So make sure that you're giving people an offer that they actually have to make a purchase in order to use versus just a giveaway, a free giveaway. You're going to get a lot of tire kickers essentially. And then as the last resort, I recommend, as I said, as a last resort here, turn on the double opt-in. So that means that someone gets an email that says, hey, are you sure that you want to subscribe to the list? Then they click yes again and they double opt in. So again, there's a lot of pros and cons here. I'm not going to get into everything, but essentially it means that you're going to have less people on your list and the conversion rate is going to go down because there's going to be a portion of people that don't actually click that button in the email to double opt in. So it's going to ensure that you never have any spam bots or any people that aren't real people on your list. However, it's going to mean less people on your list overall. So kind of something to manage there. All right, spam complaints being too high. So you want to keep your spam complaint rate below 0.1%. So a couple of things you can do here. Spam complaint rates, you want to include a very visible and simple unsubscribe link in all your emails. You definitely don't want to hide the unsubscribe link. I'll get to why in a second, but you'd rather have people unsubscribe instead of report you as spam. Reporting as spam is way worse than a simple unsubscribe. That's not a big issue. People unsubscribe all the time, but if a lot of people report you as spam, it's much worse for your deliverability. So you don't want to frequently send to unengaged people or your entire list. You only want to send to engaged segments. Kind of one of the biggest things that helps deliverability is just sending to the right people. So that's why I emphasize this, and it correlates with so many different metrics. Now, if you're going to send to unengaged or win-back segments, send them an email with a second unsubscribe link at the top of the email. So put it in the body or put it in the header somewhere where they don't have to scroll all the way down the email to unsubscribe. Make it super easy. That way, people unsubscribe again. You want them to unsubscribe instead of reporting you as spam. Right here. So don't send to people who haven't explicitly opted in. So you want to make sure that if someone can or cannot receive email marketing, you put person can receive email marketing because they subscribe. You need to make sure to have this because statement right here, or else they haven't explicitly opted in. And you technically can send to these people, but you don't want to. So you want to make sure your segments have this in them in whatever segment you're creating. We almost always include this unless we know for sure that we don't need it because it's redundant. And then you want to make sure global unsubscribes is on within the Klaviyo settings. So you want to make sure that unsubscribes, if someone unsubscribes to one list, it unsubscribes across the entire board and it puts them in a whole nother category. So this is on by default, but you just want to double check that it's on in your account. All right, so a question I get a lot is, why should I make my unsubscribe link so visible? We literally change the color of ours and make our clients, we make it, if it's like a white background, we make it red or something that really stands out. You'd rather have that person unsubscribe versus reporting you as spam. Spam report, as I said, is way worse than an unsubscribe. And if a person doesn't want your emails, you don't want them just being annoyed and not knowing how to unsubscribe. You don't want them on the list anyways. They're probably not going to buy, and you don't want a spam report. So you want to literally make it super visible. Here's how you unsubscribe. If you don't want to join the club, that's totally cool. See ya. You don't want to keep them on your list anyways, and you don't want a spam report there. All right, unsubscribe rates being too high. Generally, you want to keep this unsubscribe rate below 0.3% for a majority of your campaigns and your flows. So what you can do here is you can send to more engaged segments. Again, big theme of this video. You can improve your email content so people don't want to unsubscribe. They're getting so much value. You can keep a more consistent campaign schedule, because a lot of times if people are getting an email out of the blue, they're like, oh shoot, like I totally forgot that I was on this list. Let me unsubscribe here. So that's why if you send to win back segments or people who haven't gotten email in forever, you'll get a ton of unsubscribes. So don't just surprise people with random emails every now and then. You want to have a weekly campaign schedule. Generally 2 to 4 emails per week is where we get the best results. And then what you can do is in your preferences form, for subscribers, you can have them choose their email frequency. So when someone clicks the button at the bottom of the email that says manage preferences, you can have a little checkbox that says, I want to receive emails every month, like one every month, one every week, or default, whatever, however you want to do it, like only the biggest promotions. You could do that and just have them opt in to something else instead of unsubscribing. That way you can have people let you know how often they want to receive emails. Now, keep emails lightweight. So aim for small file sizes within your emails. So basically your email is literally like a file and just like a normal file, if the file is too big, it's going to load really slow and it's going to hurt your conversions. So it's the same as a slow loading website. You don't want to have a slow loading email. So what you do is you compress your images. So you need to look up, image optimizer or image compressor, and just look up like imagecompressor.com is a great one. Go there and compress your images, make them smaller before putting them into your emails, and then use plain text emails. These are super lightweight. These always get great deliverability, and a lot of brands are not utilizing plain text emails. So I highly recommend that you do and use more of them. Now, within your actual email, a couple things here that can really blow up the file size that you might not know about. Don't highlight the text. So in the actual HTML text section, if you put highlighted text, it's going to make the email file sizes super large. And like in Gmail, Gmail will actually clip the images if they have a poor structure. So you don't want any sort of clipping if the file size is too large. You also don't want to have a ton of mobile or desktop only blocks. So a lot of this conditional logic, it literally will 2x the size of your email. So definitely you can see in Klaviyo how big your emails are, and they should be way, way, way under the threshold, or else you're going to get super heavy emails that you'll get the clipping in Gmail, and it's just bad all around. Okay. Alt text. So you want to add this to your images. Basically, it's just a snippet of text that tells Gmail and Yahoo what your images are. So absolutely within Klaviyo, you need to add this 100% of the time. Next up, add a small snippet of text to your footer if you're running all image emails. Basically, you take this little piece of text and we put just a snippet from the About Us page into the footer. That way, there's a little bit of text within your emails that can be read by inbox providers, and it'll help slightly improve deliverability. A lot of times, if you're running, just images, there's no way for Gmail, Yahoo to really know exactly what's in the email, and it could be seen as more spam. It's not perfect. If you don't do this, it's not your deliverability is going to tank, but it's a small thing that we recommend just to be on the safe side. Ask people to reply to your emails, especially after they made a purchase. You actually would be shocked at how many people will actually respond, especially if they know that the founder or the team reads and replies to all the emails. So this tells Gmail and Yahoo that people love the emails, they're reading or responding, they're sharing them with friends, and it's all these positive engagement metrics that you need and you want for great deliverability. What you can also do is ask people to move this email, like in the welcome series, to their primary inbox. So if they receive the welcome flow in that first email, you could tell people at the bottom, you can have this little GIF here that says, hey, move this to your primary inbox if it landed in spam, or if it's in promotions. That way, for each individual person, it's always going to land in their primary inbox. Because how deliverability works is that some people, it'll land in their primary inbox, and some people it'll land in social or promotions or the spam folder. And so you want people individually to receive all your emails. And so you could have the same email blast go out, and one person it could hit, be hit in spam, and one person it could be hit in primary, and you want more people to go into primary. All right, proper warming and ramping. So I created this entire guide. Do I need to warm up Klaviyo? You can follow that for proper warming and ramping procedures, whether you're starting with a new domain or if you're going over to Klaviyo, or if you're just trying to start from scratch and really try to build your deliverability up from the ground up. You can warm and ramp your account. So go through the protocol there, super valuable. And I'll get to it in the end, but if worse comes to worse, you just need to set up a new domain, and you just follow this to warm it up properly from the start, and you shouldn't have any issues with email deliverability. So basically what this is starting with a smaller volume of email sends. It also, as I said, it works if you're hitting the spam folder too often. You just reduce the email sends, go to like that 14-day engaged, 30-day engaged, or really tight segments, establish a great sender reputation there, and then start working up to your 60, 90, 120 plus day engaged crowd. So you just kind of start from who you know, like the group of people you know are gonna open your emails. Resends to non-openers. This is a strategy a lot of people like to use on big holidays. Don't overuse it. We only like to use this during like major holidays, like once, twice per year max. But this is gonna probably hurt deliverability for you if you're taking anyone who didn't open the first email and then send them another one. So it's just a strategy that you need to use sparingly. Now, if you are going to spam, you're gonna overall want to reduce the number of campaigns that you're sending, only pick the tightest section of people, and only send to like that 14 or 30-day engaged, and then ramp up from there. That's the overall strategy if you really do think that you are going to spam. The rest of these are kind of, the ones above, the tips above are like just great deliverability practices overall that you should always be following. But the next few here are if you're just like, if you're really struggling with deliverability and you are for sure going to spam, you need to look at, is it one inbox provider or is it multiple? If it's just one, then you could segment out that individual provider. So don't send campaigns. If it's a Gmail issue, don't send campaigns to people using Gmail. Instead, you just send to only the highest engaged Gmail users. So say if everyone else besides Gmail is working great, then send your normal campaign to everyone except for Gmail users. And then you could send a campaign to only the highest engaged Gmail users and exclude everyone else. That way, you're only looking at like the Gmail users that have engaged in like the last 7, 14, 30 days, and you don't have to stop completely sending emails to everyone else. Also, if you're going to spam, what you can do is temporarily turn off low engaging flows to improve deliverability. So things like your win back and sunset flows, these are all flows that are meant to be sent to people who are kind of not really interested in your brand. They're pretty unengaged. They haven't bought in a while. These flows are not going to help you in terms of deliverability. Might bring in a little bit of revenue here and there, but overall, they're not going to produce a ton of revenue anyways, most likely. So what you can do is turn them off and really focus on your welcome series and your abandonment flows, which are going to get the best engagement metrics overall. And then as a last resort, you want to create a fresh email domain and slowly ramp up the volume. You can follow this guide that I created, Do I Need to Warm Up Klaviyo, which will tell you how to start from scratch and ramp up to your entire list by sending in small, very tight segments that are going to get great deliverability. And then once you get great deliverability for that small segment, you can gradually expand up. All right, so My favorite tool for checking how often you are hitting spam is what's called mailreach.co. So it's a tester that you can go through. They're gonna give you 20 inboxes from various providers, Gmail, Outlook, things like that, which you send emails to all those 20 inboxes. And then this tool will test where the email lands. So as you can see here, you can see in Gmail, one inbox went to spam, the other went to the inbox, spam, and overall it gives you a score. So 8.8 out of 10. It means that 88% of the inboxes, it went to the inbox, which was great. This is pretty solid deliverability. So this will give you a quantitative measure of your deliverability. It's not going to be perfect, but it's just an estimate that you can kind of look at and compare over time. So I highly recommend this. There's another one too called Google Postmaster Tool, which will help you with Gmail. All right, so at this point, if you're running a D2C e-commerce brand, you have two options. You can try to do everything here by yourself, which there's a lot to go through, and there's a lot, as we talked about, there's a lot of nuances with deliverability especially. So you can definitely try to implement everything by yourself, or what you can do is you can invest in hiring an expert who's done this, dozens and dozens of times, such as ZHS Ecom. That's our agency. So if you're interested, check out zhs-ecom.com and book a call so we can talk about how to create a win-win partnership. Appreciate your time and hope you have an awesome rest of your day.